my theme for this month's broadcast is Young Ones. Build your future with Jehovah. Personally, I am so thankful to Jehovah that positive peer pressure was put on me to enter the pioneer ministry right out of high school.
There are 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide. Of that 8 million, children make up 40% of all active believers. To be considered an active believer, one must sign up to participate in weekly meetings and distributing Watchtower literature. However, there is a dark secret harboring inside of these walls. Children from an early age are taught to shun the outside world. Parents of Jehovah's Witness children generally prefer home study programs, allowing their children to spend a majority of their time in service to the Watchtower. Although public school is allowed, a Watchtower child is to be constantly on guard from fellow classmates and the negative influence of children outside. Children from infancy are given literature containing stories from the Bible, each story with an allegorical interpretation warning its flock of the lure and temptation into what Watchtower calls the world.
It tells us what kind of qualities our friend should have.
I like chapter 35 called We Can Wake Up from Death because I used to be afraid and now I know that Jesus will resurrect us no matter what, and so I'm not afraid anymore.
The videos help me to be bold for Jehovah.
There's this little booklet/magazine called My Bible Lessons that I remember when I was younger. Things to be thankful about, like the paradise and what Jehovah gave us, and friends.
And when he was 12 years old, they went up according to the custom of the festival. When the days of the festival were over, and they were returning, the boy Jesus remained behind in Jerusalem, and his parents did not notice it.
Any of the child's peers, be it a classmate or neighbor who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, are considered to be wicked, uninformed, and therefore deemed bad association. Watchtower uses the term worldly. From Watchtower's own magazine, children are to be indoctrinated with a grim future, where a physical catastrophe to the outside world can come at any moment. Their only hope for the future is found only within the doors of the Kingdom Hall.
Yes, godly children and teenagers are appreciated by Jehovah and by spiritual men. Jehovah and his organization love all you young ones who are striving to do what is right. But how do we know that Jehovah loves all of you?
Watchtower children will attend an average of 153 meetings each year, as well as annual Bible conventions, congregational activities, and weekly Bible studies. Congregations can experience a high turnover rate of faithful attendees. This is due mostly to the stringent policies or the need to assign people to certain territories. Therefore, many Watchtower children are left with very few peers their own age to associate with. In most cases, children are left only to associate with adults. A majority of the programming geared towards children is the notion that adults in the congregation are to be looked at as spiritual leaders, trustworthy mentors. Part of the Watchtower philosophy is to encourage adults to pressure young children to make an early commitment to the religion.
How encouraging it is to see young ones getting baptized, publicly demonstrating that they are giving their lives to Jehovah. And we sincerely hope that you young ones who are not yet baptized will not hold back from getting baptized as soon as you qualify.
This commitment takes the form of a public baptism, where the candidate must then swear an oath to forever remain identified with the group and stay ostracized from the rest of the unbelieving world.
Now we've come to the time for you to make your public declaration of your personal dedication. So we'd like to invite the baptismal candidates to stand. Now we would like you to answer the following 2 questions in a loud voice. Number 1, on the basis of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, have you repented of your sins and dedicated yourself to do Jehovah's will? Your answer? Do you understand that your dedication and baptism identify you as one of Jehovah's Witnesses in association with God's Spirit-directed organization? Your answer? Excellent. Your clear affirmative answers to these questions indicate that you are qualified for baptism as ordained ministers of God.
Before a child is baptized, they're repeatedly made aware that at any age, if their solemn vow is ever violated, harsh punishment awaits, a life of solitude. Even parents are directed to shun their own children.
Sonia Erickson has been disfellowshipped.
It crushed my whole family.
Okay, to continue the meeting, we may remember last month's service.
Later, my father explained to me that I couldn't remain in the home because I refused to change my lifestyle. He told me I was having a negative effect on my younger brother and sister. And I'm out of this house.
The pressure put on a child to make this promise of commitment is constantly hammered into the minds of those attending. It is pitched to parents as a safeguard against wickedness. But is that true? Once a child is baptized, he or she is no longer referred to as a child, but a brother or a sister, capable of making important decisions, such as baptism itself.
Well, I'm not ready to get baptized. Okay, let's hold off on your driver's license. What? I'm 16, what are you talking about? I'm ready, I know I'm ready. Yeah, you're ready for a driver's license, but you're not ready to dedicate your life. Explain that one to heaven.
This baptism will also bear weight on the child's responsibility to widen out, a doctrine used by Jehovah's Witnesses, to befriend or partner up with various members of the congregation. This is where Watchtower children are led into the process of grooming.
But you still take pictures?
I do. I really enjoy photography. There's something about being close to Jehovah's creation. It reminds me that we're never really alone, you know?
It made me very happy to observe a little 10-year-old brother get baptized.
The predator may develop a bond by helping their victim deal with difficult parents or a bully. Once they gain their victim's trust, they cross the line.
By then, the kid may genuinely like that person, may not want to get them in trouble, and may feel like no one else is going to understand, this is special, this is nice, it's not bad, and then be in the position of feeling like they have to keep a secret.
Repeated examples of rape, inappropriate touching, pedophilia, and other lewd behaviors have fostered between the younger, more submissive, obedient children of the Watchtower and the trusted adult inside the congregation.
Make it your goal to help your children to love God. Then they will act wisely, even when they're not with you. Just as God teaches by example, teach your children to love God by your example.
Recently, Watchtower literature has made changes to their doctrine to include child predators, or as they describe it, wolves. In the January 2018 study edition of the Watchtower, in the article entitled, "See the Difference in People," it goes on to explain that the interpretation of Isaiah 11:6-9 is not a reference to some future paradise, but instead a signal to its members that there are those within the Watchtower congregation displaying, quote, animalistic qualities,
Many who formerly displayed such animalistic qualities have changed for the better. This transformation was beautifully foretold in a Bible prophecy. Isaiah 11:6 and 7 reads,
The wolf will reside for a while with the lamb, and with the young goat the leopard will lie down. And the calf and the lion and the fattened animal will all be together, and a little boy will lead them.
Since animals cannot learn about Jehovah, the spiritual fulfillment of this prophecy applies to people.
Animalistic qualities, such as wolves and lions, who are able to live in peace with those who can be likened to lambs or calves. Keep in mind, lambs and calves are the young.